Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen, and in today's video we have the Phoenix Suns. Now obviously a few days ago there was a massive trade in the NBA which sent superstar point guard Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks, but obviously this was a three-team deal. DeAndre Ayton got sent to Portland, and the Phoenix Suns got Jusuf Nurkic and some filler players that I think can be very valuable for them. So we're here doing the Suns rebuild today. I hadn't done a Suns rebuild yet. Obviously with their new acquisitions as well, I definitely do want to do this. So I'm waiting on the Blazers right now because I'm waiting for kind of the next shoe to drop. I think Drew Holiday is going to be sent out probably by Monday, so that's why I'm waiting for the Blazers, if you're wondering. But yeah, man, I like this pickup by the Suns. I'll dive into it a little bit more once you do get in the video, but I'm still unpacking this crazy trade we all just saw. Finally, as always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comments section. If the Drew Holiday trade is done by Monday or Tuesday, I'm obviously going to do that at some point, and if it's not and Drew Holiday remains in Portland for the first half of the season or whatever, I'll still do the Portland Trailblazers rebuild, don't you worry. But yeah, man, I'm open to any ideas you guys have. Let me know down below in the comments section. But we've taken up enough time. Let's get into this one. So I'm sure by now you all know the major three-team deal that went down, but just in case you don't, I'll read it to you one more time. The Bucks received Damian Lillard, the Portland Trailblazers received Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Toumani Camara, a Bucks 2029 first-round pick unprotected, and swaps in 2028 and 2030. And then Phoenix got Jusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. So obviously a crazy trade. Just about a month away until the NBA season actually does kick off, but we've been waiting pretty much all summer for a Damian Lillard trade, and we finally did get it. So I actually don't mind this move very much for the Suns. I think Phoenix will miss out a little bit on what DeAndre brings as a physical kind of big man center. In terms of Jusuf Nurkic, I think he's a little bit worse on the defensive end of it, but I do like the depth they picked up. So obviously they didn't really give up too much besides DeAndre Ayton to pick up this depth. I like it for them. The top of the roster is obviously super heavy, and other than that, there are some veterans on this team. It's not a great kind of bottom of the roster, though, which, again, is important for the regular season. Obviously not as much come playoff time, but this was not the only major trade that Phoenix was involved in this summer. Obviously, they acquired Bradley Beal as well, so there's a lot of moving parts for this Phoenix Suns roster that we haven't seen before. Obviously, at the deadline last year, went out and got Kevin Durant, so it's been a very, very busy kind of last half year for the Phoenix Suns, and they're hoping that obviously it can all come together and result in a championship for new owner Matt Ashiba. So let's just dive into this roster. Obviously, Jordan Goodwin is not going to be starting at the point guard spot. We're going to have one of Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, probably running that point guard spot. They did pick up Keon Johnson from Portland. Again, if he can develop a little bit, maybe he can get some backup minutes eventually. He's a 70 overall right now. All likelihood will not be playing here in year one. Shooting guard spot. You have a superstar here in Devin Booker. I consider him a superstar. I think he's the best shooting guard in the NBA. He's 26 years old and a 94 overall. There's literally a 0% chance he goes anywhere. Bradley Beal was acquired this offseason. Obviously, wasn't it was a major trade. I don't want to say it wasn't a major trade. What I'm trying to say is they didn't give up a ton to get him. I'm really interested to see how kind of him and Booker fit in this backcourt together, which one of them is going to kind of be the primary ball handler. Obviously, Kevin Durant can assume some of those responsibilities as well. It will be interesting. Eric Gordon's a veteran. He signed with this team in the offseason. And then obviously newly acquired Grayson Allen from Milwaukee. Small forward spot, Josh Koji's here right now. I'm going to have to figure out if I want him in the starting lineup. We're going to work our way around it, figure out what is best. Power forward spot, Kevin Durant, probably still a top 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever you have him player in all of basketball. One of the greatest scorers in NBA history, but he is 35, so definitely on the back nine of his career. Keita Bates, Diop, Nasir Little, newly acquired, and Ish Wainwright, I almost said Isaiah, Ish Wainwright here as well. Center spot, Jusuf Nurkic is now going to be the starting center for this team moving forward. Obviously, DeAndre Ayton's tenure in Phoenix wasn't necessarily terrible. He went number 1 overall in 2018, and they obviously had a little bit of higher hopes for him than what he actually ended up panning out being. It sucks because you look back on it, if you could kind of get a redo, they obviously take Luka Doncic first overall, but yeah, man, there's no redos in the NBA. So Jusuf Nurkic is here. Excited to see what he can bring for us. Bol is here. He's a 77 overall at 23 years old. I think this game likes Bol a lot more than, well, I don't want to be disrespectful. I think Bol is a lot better in this game than he is in real life. Drew Eubanks, Chimezie Metu, and Udoka Azubuike here as well. So that's a lot of center depth. That's probably, honestly, 4 guys that could get minutes. Obviously, I don't need 4 guys getting minutes. So we might have a small trade or two. I'm not going to completely blow up this roster or anything, but maybe something small. Our first and potentially only trade is going to be coming with the Utah Jazz. We're going to be sending them Jordan Goodwin, Chimezie Metu, and a future second-round pick. It's actually second this year. We're going to be picking up Chris Dunn and Romeo Langford. Chris Dunn's going to come in, hopefully be a defensive-minded backup point guard for this team. He'll probably be the 10th guy in the rotation. And then Romeo Langford is here. Celtics legend Romeo Langford. Probably won't play many minutes. Honestly, if I can maybe reroute him somewhere else that I can get a draft asset for him, maybe wouldn't mind it. It's not exactly like the Suns are loaded up with draft picks, so maybe wouldn't mind picking up one if it's a possibility, especially for an expiring deal. So just curious. I mean, again, obviously not a realistic rebuild. Thank you very much, Chicago. I'm not trying to be realistic, but I'm also not going to be super cheesy with this game. And then in terms of the center spot, it's an interesting one for me. So Drew Eubanks is here, and I think in real life he'll obviously be getting some minutes. This game just really likes Bol Bol, and so that kind of puts me in a weird spot where I don't really need Drew Eubanks. And as you can see there, I don't know why they took the colors away this year to tell you what sort of option it is. It is an option. It's a player option. You can see it right there on the left side of the screen. Is it worth moving Drew Eubanks? I don't know, because he's not going to pick up a $2 million player option. And I think maybe there's value of keeping him, but it's only going to be a 10-man rotation. I don't need 3 centers. So I might explore a trade. I can honestly say the same thing with Keita Bates-Diop, because Nasir Little is definitely playing. I don't know. I just don't want to be too cheesy right now. I mean, I'm not trying to do anything that's like totally egregious, but again, it's just going to be letting these guys go for nothing if I don't do something. So we'll make this trade with the Kings. And then honestly, is there a way for me to get like a second round pick for Ish Wainwright, who's just not going to play here either? I can get that's actually a swap. All right. Again, it's just Lakers want to give me a first. We're getting super cheesy right now. We really are. Whatever. Fuck it. All right. If the Lakers want to be stupid, I'm not going to stop them. They've had enough success in their franchise. Scottie Pippen Jr. as well. All right. Let's set the rotation. After a few trades, maybe some that were a little cheesy, we are finally ready for year one here in Phoenix. I moved around some positions. It just makes the screen look pretty. It really doesn't change anything. Bradley Beal is going to be our starting point guard. Both him and Booker, when I change them to point guards, their overalls go down one. I don't know. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. It's the NBA in 2023 is relatively positionless. I mean, it's not, but you know what I'm saying. So obviously, they're our backcourt. I'm going to start Koji here at the 3. There's maybe an argument to start Grayson Allen, get even a little bit more shooting in there, but there's obviously a lot of shooting on this team already. And again, Josh Okogie is here. He's a viable option, I guess. I don't really know. So he's going to be here for now. KD here at the 4. Yusuf Nurkic here at my 5. Bench unit's going to be led by Grayson Allen. Moved him to the small forward spot. He's going to be kind of a hybrid small forward shooting guard. Then Bol Bol, who this game definitely likes quite a bit. Eric Gordon, Nasir Little, and Chris Dunn. So it's not a terrible team, or excuse me, a terrible bench, but it's definitely not as good as I'd like it to be at some point in time. I don't want to say terrible team. Obviously, they're an incredible team. But, yeah, I'm excited to see how year one kind of pans out. Obviously, a lot of star power here in Phoenix, and hopefully a championship as well. See you guys at the end of year one. We wrap up our first season here in Phoenix with a record of 53-29. By no means is that any sort of bad record. I was hoping to be more around 57, 58. I can live with it for year one. Ja Morant is your MVP. Obviously, his suspension is not put into 2K, meaning he's playing 82 games because I don't play with injuries on. And a very impressive season from Ja Morant. Victor Wembanyama is your Rookie of the Year, CP3. Sixth Man of the Year, Giannis is your D-Boy. Paul Reed, Most Improved. Donovan Mitchell, Clutch Player of the Year. And Nick Nurse is your Coach of the Year over in Philadelphia. All right, let's take a look at the standings. We finished as a 3 seed here in the Western Conference, and honestly, that's not too bad. We're going to have New Orleans in the first round. I can definitely live with that. Here's a look at the Eastern Conference if you wish to pause. In terms of the numbers on the year, scoring, it was Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, all around 21 plus points per game. That's obviously great. Yusuf Nurkic around 11.5 points, basically 10 rebounds. I can live with that. Grayson Allen off the bench, Josh Okogie, Bol Bol, Eric Gordon, Chris Dunn, Nasir Little. Rebounds were led by Nurkic, and assists was Booker. All right, as I mentioned, it's going to be the Phoenix Suns. And we're the Phoenix Suns. It's going to be the New Orleans Pelicans for us here. And round one, CJ McCollum, Dyson Daniels, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Jonas Valanciunas. They got Trey Murphy coming off the bench. I have absolutely no idea why Herbert Jones would not be in the starting lineup. That's an egregious mistake, but do whatever you want. Makes it easier for me, I guess. All right, we are currently actually down 2-1, and we do tie it up at 2-2. We go up 3-2 in the first round, and we're moving on to take on the defending champions here in the Denver Nuggets. By far not my team, or not my favorite team to play, because, yeah, this man's pretty good, and this man just elevates his game like nobody else come playoff time. So here we go. We do have home court advantage. That's obviously great. We're up 2-0 here. We are up 3-0, and it's a sweep. We had more trouble with the Pelicans than we did with the defending champs. Okay. And did somebody just blow a 3-0 lead there? I don't know. I might have missed it. But yeah, we're going to be taking on the Clippers here in the Western Conference Finals. Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Norman Powell, Kawhi Leonard, Mason Plumlee. These two teams played each other, what? Was it first round last year in the playoffs? Obviously, there were a bunch of injuries for the Clippers. Russell Westbrook was basically doing it all. Kawhi did look good for the... What did he play? Like 1-2 games in that series? My memory gets confused. All right, we're up 2-1 right now here in the West Finals. They go 2-2 with us. We go down 3-2, and we lose 4 straight after winning the first 2 games. That's rather disappointing, I will say that. Miami's back in the finals. They're looking to win one this time, and they're taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. And the Heat get it done. They say, who the hell needs Damian Lillard? Jimmy Butler, finals MVP. This would be an insane conference finals. Don't get me wrong, I want my Celtics to go, but just imagine like a full series of that after all the shit from this offseason, man. God damn, that'd be fun. All right, it is time for offseason number 1. Obviously, we have a little bit more flexibility now. We can make a few more moves of our own. And yeah, I'm excited to see what we do with this team. So let's sim through the draft lottery real quick. It's going to be the Pistons, the Magic, the Blazers, the Spurs, and the Wizards. Honestly, not a ton of surprises in there. I think the Magic are actually probably a borderline playoff team this year. Maybe if Detroit can stay healthy. We will see, though. All right, in terms of staff signing, obviously Frank Vogel is now here. This was his first season with the team. He has pretty good ratings. He'll probably stay. Up to the draft, I think we actually do have our own first-round pick this year. We do. It's at number 24. I think there's a couple things we can do with that. I'm not sure if I want to include it in a trade to maybe move up, or if I potentially want to just trade it for a different bench piece. I think, honestly, maybe moving up wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, because we can get somebody who's on team control, younger, and a little bit more potential than the guys we have on the bench right now. So I actually don't hate that idea. Let's see what we can do. All right, so Houston has the 10th overall pick. It's actually via Brooklyn, and I'm going to try to get it from them. I think the number 24 overall pick, and Keon Johnson is going to be kind of my base offer. Keon Johnson, again, it's a nice pickup, maybe value and potential-wise. In real life here in 2K, it's not going to do anything for me. But he does have 2 stars, which means he's a relatively valuable asset to be traded. And yeah, they don't take that straight up. How about if I just include a couple second-round picks? You have any interest there? Again, we don't have a lot of second-round picks to include, and they do agree to it. All right, so at number 10, we should have a few options in terms of guys we could draft. Here's a look at the draft so far. Ron Holland, Stephon Cassell, DJ Wagner, Isaiah Collier. So these are 2 point guards. I am targeting a point guard. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We're not going to be getting either one of those guys, but are there anybody else here? Like Tyrese Proctor is here. Yeah, I mean, I would have loved Wagner or Collier. Those would have been my guys, but I was maybe shooting a little high in terms of one of those guys maybe following me. I mean, I could just go with Bronny, and honestly, I probably will. I've seen him win Rookie of the Year multiple times. Now, he's not going to get those minutes here, so he's not going to probably win it, but fuck it. It's in the DNA. We got to take a flyer on Bronny James. He's going to be our new backup point guard. Chris Dunn, I don't have a problem with him. It's a little bit potential-wise, money-wise. It makes sense for me. Team player options. So, Josh declines. Eric Gordon declines. KBD. I don't know if anybody calls him that. K-Debates the off declines his player option, which means we don't currently have a starting small forward, which is definitely something we want to address. Azubuike and Lee are not going to be getting qualifying offers from us. And then a look at free agency. Obviously, no real major free agents here. In terms of what this roster kind of looks like right now, it is pretty much bare bones because, yeah, we obviously don't have a lot of bird rights on a lot of the guys that were on this team. A lot of them were veterans, and it is what it is. But I do not want to just let Josh Okogie leave for nothing. I don't know if the game's going to actually let me re-sign him. I hope it does. Nope, no, really? All right, he's just gone. God bless you, 2K. All right, well, that sucks. On top of that, I think Grayson Allen is gone as well. He is, which is pretty shitty because, I mean, he's here, but, like, I don't really want to start Grayson Allen. I don't, no disrespect. Fuck. That definitely sucks. All right, I mean, I don't know if the game's going to actually let me re-sign him after I sign another free agent. I feel like we're giving away our mid-level exception right now, but I can't just let him go. Which means we basically lose Josh Okogie for nothing, which sucks. Bol Bol's also just gone. I mean, we're basically just kind of cleaning house in terms of what we had on this bench, so that's a little tricky. Is the game, any chance it's going to let me bring back Bol Bol? No, not going to happen. Jalen Williams is here, though. I'm actually definitely... Jalen Williams got released, it looks like, so he's only going to be here for a year, but there's a little bit of upside there in terms of age-wise. So Bol Bol's gone. I mean, this entire bench literally is basically gone besides Nasir Little. So definitely something to keep an eye on, obviously. We're going to have to work something out. What I might do is actually go 9-man rotation without Booker having a backup because there's definitely some rotations, some lineups that can have Beal at the 2, Bronny at the 1. So I might go 9-man just because I think it's honestly going to hurt us more than it helps us if I get some scrub to come off the bench. In terms of a new potential backup small forward, I mean, the options are not great by any means. I don't know. I don't really like any of them, to be completely honest with you. I mean, maybe Josh Richardson. He's only 30, but then I could also take a look at old friend TJ Warren. But I like Josh Richardson. Let's take a flyer on Josh Richardson. We'll do a 2-year deal with him. All right. God damn, man. We just cleaned house. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know what's going to end up happening with the team in real life after this season, but just an interesting thought process nonetheless. So this is going to be it moving forward, man. We obviously are not making many major changes to the starting lineup because obviously we had to kind of work on the bench a little bit this offseason, but there probably will be some trades in the next offseason, especially if we don't win. So I'll see you guys at the rotation. Last season, we were in the Western Conference Finals, had a 2-0 lead, and then lost 4 straight. Obviously, that is never ideal. In this offseason, I'm not going to say it was a good offseason because we really didn't do much besides kind of replacing the little bench we already had with guys that are really not much better, if better at all. So I'm definitely a little bit nervous about this season for a couple of reasons. Obviously, the reason I just mentioned is a big one. On top of that, we're seeing a little bit of regression out of Bradley Beal and Yusuf Nurkic. It's a big question mark for me. So I'm stressing a little bit, but I'm still holding out hope. Do not get me wrong. We are down to a 9-man rotation, which means minutes are going to be a little bit different. Some guys playing more. And actually, almost everybody's playing more. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Grayson Allen is now a starter on this team. Where's bro's eyebrows at? I mean, good Lord, you're doing them dirty. Kevin Durant here at the 4 and Yusuf Nurkic as our starting center. Bench unit's going to be led by Josh Richardson, Jalen Williams, Bronny James, and Nasir Little. We have like Thad Young and Aaron Holiday and Austin Rivers here if needed, but you always hope that those guys aren't playing because that means something went really wrong. But that is it for now, man. I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. We go 54-28 in year 2. If my memory serves me correctly, I think that's 1 game better than last year. I think. I don't know. All these rebuilds start to just become one in my head. Nikola Jokic nearly averages a triple-double and does win MVP. Justin Edwards is your rookie of the year. He's in D.C. Oh my God, I rhymed. Jaden Hardy is your 6th man of the year in Dallas. Nick Claxton is your depoy. Scoot Henderson, most improved, now kind of getting the keys to the point guard spot. Obviously with Damian Lillard on his way out. Nikola Jokic also wins Clutch Player of the Year. And Joe Mazzulla, head coach of the Boston Celtics, Coach of the Year. Good to see Joe getting a Coach of the Year. I like Joe. All right, here's a look at the standings. We actually are the 1 seed here in the West. That's great. For some reason, I still don't feel great about this team. I think we're good. Obviously, the top of the roster is really solid. Just I'm a little bit nervous about literally everything else. So we actually had the 3rd best record in all of basketball. And I think we're obviously still good. I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous for the upcoming playoff run. I stand by that statement. Hopefully guys can play well and everything kind of comes together. So who's going to be round 1 for? It's going to be the 8-seeded Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, I mean, again, obviously Luka and Kyrie are insane. THJ, Grant Williams, Mason Plumlee, got Jaden Hardy, just won a 6th man of the year. It's an okay roster, obviously outside of Luka and Kyrie, who are both obviously incredibly talented. And, okay, we're up 3-1. Come on. Thank you. We win in 5. Obviously, a lot of fun games between Phoenix and Dallas that we've all seen. We're moving on to Memphis here in the Western Conference semis. So, Ja Morant, Devin Vassell's a new addition. They have Desmond Bane starting here at the 3. Triple J and Miles Turner. Really good job there in Memphis. That is a very, very good starting 5. You got Xavier Tillman Sr., Chris Boucher, Josh Christopher coming off the bench. All right. I like it. Good job by Memphis. I'm hoping we can still beat you, but good job in that rebuild. We're up 3-1 right now. We're on to the West Finals. We're going to be taking on the Golden State Warriors. Obviously a team that has been here, and they have retooled their roster a little bit. No more Klay Thompson. They have geriatric Chris Paul at point guard, Michael Porter Jr. here at the 3. Kuminga's now getting minutes, and Kevon Looney. Got Wiggins coming off the bench. Daniel got interesting looking team there in Golden State. We're currently up 2-0. Make that 3-0. 3-1, and we are in the finals. That's awesome. We're going to be taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers and Evan Mobley. I was going to say Donovan Mitchell, but nonetheless, a little bit younger than us. Obviously, a lot of star power here. You have 2 90s in a backcourt. Coro here at the 3 and a 91 and an 87 in the front court. So, yeah, man, definitely not an easy series for us whatsoever. The Cavs are good. We're down 3-0, and we just got our teeth kicked in the finals. Yeah, that's not fun. LeBron calls it a career. Chris Paul calls it a career. Al Horford calls it a career. Staff retirement, Hall of Fame inductees LeBron, CP3, jersey retirements, and then draft lottery time. I know we traded for a couple picks to open this video, and it does not appear that any of them are going to be in the lottery. I see 2 Rockets logos. I see 3 Spurs logos. I see 2 Jazz logos. Good God. All right, let's skip through that real quick. The decision comes, do I want to re-sign Frank Vogel, keep him as our head coach? I mean, I don't necessarily think he's the problem. Look at his offensive and defensive ratings, specifically his basketball IQ is 4 out of 5 stars. I don't think Frank Vogel is the problem. I think more of the problem here with this team is just the bench and potentially maybe 1 or 2 of the starters. So we might have some trades coming. Again, we don't have a ton of assets. Obviously, a lot of the bench guys we just had were on 1-year deals. We're not going to draft anybody here. We have no team player options. In terms of our major free agents, do we have anybody serious? No, not really from what I'm seeing. So is Nurkic gone? No, he's still here. All right, we have some trades to make, no doubt. I need to upgrade this roster. 2 things. 1, I have no idea how Trae Young's in Sacramento. It appeared he got traded mid-season last year. And 2nd, they have the same exact trade value. I'd love to make this trade. I think we need more of a traditional point guard on this team, on top of the fact that we all just saw what happened with Beal last year. Now, he still played well, don't get me wrong. We know that overall is going to go down a little bit. We have to make roster upgrades. Obviously, at this point in time, Trae Young would be that. So I don't, they're not going to take it straight up. We actually do have some draft picks to play with here. I don't know exactly how many it's going to take. There's also some players I can trade. Like if you want Josh Richardson, you can have him. Again, no problem with Josh Richardson. He's a valuable bench piece. I just ultimately really do think he's going to regress. So, okay. We go out and we get Trae Young. He's actually somewhat easy to trade for in 2K24 for some reason, but I'm very excited to have him here. Him and Devin Booker are going to be in the same backcourt. Not the greatest defensive backcourt, but then again, neither was Beal and Booker. And then our decision comes, we have to find an upgrade for a starting small forward. So let's figure something out. Okay, we just gave up 3 first-round picks, and we acquired Keegan Murray. We sent Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and our last 3 first-round picks over to... Oh, my God, I made another trade with the Kings. I didn't even realize. But we picked up Keegan Murray. Obviously, we needed a small forward, which means, yeah, we just slide Kevin Durant down to the small forward spot. And, yeah, I mean, again, we definitely made the starting 5 better. I think our bench is just going to be as bad as it was before, if not even a little bit worse. And then we also have to... What the hell do we want to do with Yusuf Nurkic? I have no picks left. I can't really do much. And again, I doubt I'm getting an upgraded center for Yusuf Nurkic straight up. But I do not trust him. I really don't. I don't like any of these offers, so I'm not going to take any. But I'm nervous about Yusuf Nurkic. I hope he's not too much of a weak link at that center spot. But again, we did upgrade the starting 5. So we are probably going to go 9-man rotation. Again, we will get a shooting guard. KD won't have a backup. Then we'll get a backup 4. So let's look at our options here in free agency. They are not great. I would not mind bringing in Chris Boucher. He is going to be our new backup power forward. And then in terms of a shooting guard, they're backing up Devin Booker. They're probably going to play 10, 12 minutes a night. Victor Oladipo could be cool. I think he's just a little old. Maybe Gary Harris, but I mean, these are not great options. What I actually might do, and it's going to be a little scummy, and I apologize for it, is I'm actually going to sign, I'll sign Edmund Sumner, and I'm also, obviously, as you saw, I'm signing Cody Zeller. And then we're going to go ahead and at the start of next season, we'll have access to more draft picks, and then we'll trade them. So it's an all-time scumbag move, but it's what we have to do. I'll see you guys at the start of the final year. I feel like this is a situation where you're just going to have to pick your poison, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. And I'm going to go with Nikola Vucevic. He's 4 overalls higher than Yusuf Nurkic at this time. Quite honestly, I don't really think either one of them fits very well with this team we've now constructed, but if I'm going to have to choose one, I'm going to go with the guy who's 4 overalls higher. In terms of the numbers difference, about 10.5 and 10.5 for Nurkic. For Vucevic, about 16, 9.5. So again, neither options are great. I think Vucevic can space the floor a little bit more. He's going to be my guy. It's not anything tremendous by any means, but it is what it is. In terms of some backups now, we are here obviously at the start of the final year. I have not set the rotation yet. I'm probably going to try to find an upgrade at my backup shooting guard spot. Now, I did just trade away the 1 remaining first-round pick I had, so I do got to be a little careful. But if I include like Sumner, Zeller, and a second, are there any shooting guards out there that are just a tiny bit better? I mean, I'm just trying to gear up as much as I possibly can for the final year. Oh, good God. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Is he... I don't know. I don't. I mean, part of me even wants to like go out and I saw who. Yeah, it was Nick Richards. Could Nick You know what? Fuck it. Let's do this. I'm gonna get a little. I'm gonna get a little tricky right now. Nick Richards, that first, and then we also have somebody else in this roster, right? Like, how about Amir Coffey? I don't need you. No disrespect. All right, Luke, beautiful. That's exactly what I was looking for. All right, let's set the rotation. Last year, we made it all the way to the NBA Finals just to get our teeth kicked in by the Cleveland Cavaliers. We've retooled this roster a little bit, obviously adding some new faces with Trae Young, Keegan Murray, and Nikola Vucevic, along with a couple bench pieces. Obviously, kind of the big duo of this team with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant still intact. still going strong, but we've put some better players around them. Hopefully that leads to an actual championship this time, because it's the final year. We kind of got to do it. Trae Young, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Keegan Murray, and Nikola Vucevic. Bench unit's going to be led by Bronny James, Jalen Williams, Luke Kennard, and Chris Boucher. So this is it, man. This is the final year. I think the bench is overall wise a little bit better than what we've had in the past, and the starting five definitely is. I will see you guys at the end of the final season. And in our final season here in Phoenix, we end with our best record yet of 62-20. Now, I'm obviously feeling good. It was a very solid regular season. We've had good regular seasons before. It hasn't turned into shit. Hopefully it does this time. Luka Doncic averages a triple-double, wins an MVP. Cooper Flagg is in Chicago, wins Rookie of the Year. Tyler Hero, Sixth Man of the Year in Miami, his second career Sixth Man of the Year, I believe. Evan Mobley's your DPOY. Taylor Hendricks, Most Improved. Luka wins Clutch Player of the Year, and Frank Vogel gets a Coach of the Year. So obviously this is all good. I mean, I'm happy. I'm very, very happy right now. Look at the East. God damn. And everything's like feeling good. It's just we gotta go out and, I mean, we were in the finals last year. We just gotta do it, and actually win this time. So there are the numbers: rebounds, Vucevic, assists, Trae Young. So round one for us, it is going to be the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, I mean, obviously the team's changed a lot, and it's not as good as it once was. But any team with Steph Curry still scares me. So we lose game one. That's never ideal. We take a 2-1 lead here. We go up 3-1, and we win in 5. Good. Moving on to the second round, the Portland Trail Blazers. Young and exciting, and have Karl-Anthony Towns now, actually. Got Simons coming off the bench. Play sharp at the 3. Have Simons in the starting 5. All right, we sweep. I didn't think that was going to be too hard. Grizzlies here. They have lost Desmond Bane. Who else did they have here before? They had somebody else there before. I have added Domantas Sabonis, though. Interesting decisions there, because you already have some big men in Miles Turner, but whatever. We're actually down right now. Oh, my God. Oh, my fucking God. Wow. I don't know. What the fuck? I genuinely don't know. I mean, I thought this team definitely was good enough. Yeah, I mean, there's something a little funky about this rebuild. Maybe that's what I get for keeping Frank Vogel as my head coach, but I don't know. Maybe the bench wasn't good enough. I mean, I feel like I've had benches very similar to that without as much star power at the top, and I've won championships. I don't know. Maybe today just wasn't my day. But yeah, I'm sorry, Suns fans. I thought we did good enough. Apparently we did not. But yeah, still fun to rebuild. I had fun putting this team together. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm waiting on, Drew Holiday to get moved. I suspect that Portland will probably find a trade. If not, obviously they'll keep him probably till the trade deadline, then move him. But yeah, I mean, that Blazers rebuild will come as soon as we figure out if Drew's getting traded or if he stays, because I don't want to have to redo it just a day later. So, as always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. And, yeah, man, I hope you guys all have a great weekend. That pretty much wraps it up for me. So, once again, as always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.